have a concept. You have a great concept. You guys are doing it, man, and it's an honor for me to just be, you know, a small rock, man, in your mountain. I'm gonna pop a top in your honor.
Mr. Doc Walker blessed us with his presence and knowledge.
We want to welcome in our next special guest, Haley Skarupa. She's a three-time world champion in women's ice hockey and most recently won Olympic gold with Team USA.
The Cap Stadium Series is definitely my favorite, obviously. I'm a huge Caps fan, I always have been, and to be there at that game with my teammates and for us to bring, you know, our gold medals to there and share it with everyone in this area was really, really special for me, and just the support and it's been tremendous from everyone in this area, and you could feel that there at that game.
Welcome to Sports on the Hill podcast. Hashtag DC Sports Without the Politics with Carol and Robbie on True Radio Network.
By CP3. Many can copy us, but none can duplicate us. By CP3.
What's going on, people? CP3 live from the lab, post-game live. Washington football team has won the NFC East division with a 7-9 record. We'll host a playoff game Saturday at 8:15 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's definitely going to be live. It's definitely going to be lit, just like this post-game is. If you tuned in earlier to At the Bar Radio and I was streaming live earlier, I predicted the Washington football team was going to pull this game out, which they did, defeating the Philadelphia Eagles. It was a very interesting game, and I'm going to talk about it in great detail. But before I do, we're going to bring in Robbie G, because I know his time is limited tonight. What's going on, Robbie G?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing? This is a quick
I'm doing pretty
sound
good.
check
I can't
live
complain, can't complain.
On air, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, getting a little bit of feedback, a little bit of double. Let me see, make sure it's not on my end.
Yeah, I hear it in your thing. Wait a minute. I
Let me
just
make
put it
sure I
away.
got all my settings right.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Let me just make sure that I don't have it doubled on here. I don't think so.
It's all good. You know how it is. Sometimes technology works with us, sometimes it works against us. But it's a victory Monday, so it's a great day. Washington football team, you know, who thought they would win the division, even with a 7-9 record, but the fact that they won the division with a new coach in the first season, going through all the adversity at the quarterback position, rookies coming in that was drafted, making impact on the team, and you know, it's a beautiful thing for this team to, after all they went through, getting a new coach, the name change, some of the other distractions with some of the players that are no longer here, and the fact that they were able to put it all together and, you know, find a way to win a division and host a playoff game. I think that's a nice feather in the cap of Coach Von Rivera.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So I think I figured out part of the problem was my computer that I set up before this whole thing, it died. So I'm on the wrong computer. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. Do you have a 3-up? Brian Hurt wants to come on. Do you have like a secondary, like a normal view that we could throw him?
If he's coming on the Zoom, yeah, I got the regular 3-up I can pull in whenever you're ready to bring him in.
I'll send it to him right now and get him in, right? He can. He's already been celebrating, but I'd love to get his take. See if I can get him in. Let me see if I can get this other computer.
Man, you know how it happens, but you know how it be with technology sometimes. But it was definitely definitely an interesting week. And
Here, I'm gonna jump off and switch accounts. Well, I just think I might screw it up. Hold on, let me try to log in with another account real quick on my phone, just to see if I can get that to work.
All right, we know you're gonna figure it out. You're the IT genius of the operation, so we know you're gonna figure out a way. But I guess I can go over some of the stats since we're waiting on Robbie to get things set up with Big Hurt to come in, because I can't wait for his synopsis of this, because we haven't really spoke, especially since the releasing of Dwayne Haskins. I know he probably knew before everybody else, but he really couldn't say nothing. So we definitely can't wait to get his take on this recent development of the Washington football team being division champs. But they won the game 20-14. As I mentioned, they'll face Tampa Bay on Saturday, 8:15, hosting a wild card game. They had finished the season 7-9, defeated Philly, who ended the season 4-11-1. Alex Smith went 22 for 32 for 162 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions with a 75.3 quarterback rating. Jalen Hurts started the game, but he did not finish the game. We saw Nate Sudfeld, ex-Washington football team draft pick, come in, and yeah, we know how the game ended. But Hurts was 7 for 20 for 72 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception with a 25.4 quarterback rating. Antonio Gibson had 19 carries, 75 yards with a 3.9 yard carry average. Boston Scott for Philly had 15 carries for 65 yards with a 4.3 yard average. Terry McLaurin had 7 receptions, 40 yards and a touchdown with a 5.7 reception average. Team had 16 first downs. They went 6 for 15 on third downs, which is pretty good for this team. With Alex Smith at the helm, I'm going to talk about those 2 interceptions because I know folks is probably upset about that, or, you know, some of the Haskins lovers are probably, you know, saying, well, if Dwayne would have did that, y'all have been pissed off. Yeah, but Dwayne would have did it, he would have kept on doing it and probably had a fumble to add on top of that and wouldn't have looked as good, you know, in the drives that they had. Let's see, some of the got comments already coming through. All right, appreciate it, Fred, Mark, Dominic. Appreciate y'all coming through. Fred says, to be honest, I don't know if we win. If Hurts stays in the game, Smith, Gibson, and McLaurin not 100% healthy, I'm glad we won, but this game was not a good representation of the team. It was a division matchup. I mean, that's what you're going to get. End of the season, you saw all today, you know, close games that you didn't necessarily think was going to be close, and you saw some blowouts that you didn't necessarily think was going to be blowouts. But when you have division matchups, you know, you got to throw everything out the window because you never know what you're going to get. I mean, the team played good enough to win. They held them to 2 touchdowns, 2 runs by the quarterback, and pretty much they shut down everything else. I don't think if Hurts would have stayed in the game, it would have got any better for them. I think this team defensively just was out there, you know, ready to ball. I mean, Chase Young, 2 tackles, 1 sack, 2 assists, 7 quarterback pressures. Holcomb, 6 tackles. Bostic, 4 tackles, 4 assists, a sack. Jonathan Allen, 4 tackles, 4 assists. I'm not going to go with that. Hurts got pulled for a reason. I said he was 7 for 20 for 75 yards. He got pulled for a reason. He wasn't getting the job done. And not without the aid of the referees, at some point I saw some questionable calls favoring the Eagles, I would say, but Washington football team prevailed. They didn't make too many mistakes to shoot themselves in the foot, and they were able to win the game. What's up, Dominic? Saying we're welcome. He's a Philly fan, saying that with them putting in Sudfeld, basically, he gave us the game. Hey, Peterson is an offensive guy, offensive coordinator who I give a lot of credit to. He knew the thought process behind what he did. I feel like Hurts is going to be the quarterback going into next year. Being Winston came out and said that he wants to be traded because he feels like the relationship with him and Peterson can't be, you know, salvaged. So they wanted to see what Sudfeld had to see if he's going to be a quality backup or might even compete for the first string. Who knows? Because we saw Hurts need some, you know, some work also. NFL game is a whole different ball game. Mark says he's mentally drained. Yeah, of course. Well, you know the Washington football team, the game isn't going to be a blowout. They're always going to make it a nail-biter, come down to the fourth quarter. Fred also said the defense offense going to have to step up this next week. I would keep Gibson, McCoy, and Smith off their feet for the week. I know it might be cool for them, but they need to rest. But they definitely want to, limit their practice time, especially with, McLaurin having a high ankle sprain and Gibson having a turf toe and Alex Smith having a calf strain. They definitely want to keep him off their feet. Like I said, McLaurin didn't really practice this week because they didn't want him on the turf. And the same thing with Gibson. So, they're definitely going to, err on the side of caution. Let's see what else
Carol,
we
just
got.
so you know, I think we're good to go. I've got it set up here on multiple computers, and we've got Hurt on that we can bring in right now if you're ready to go.
All right, you can go ahead and bring them in. We can go ahead and switch over to the three up.
There we go. There's the man, the myth, the legend who had me on in the pregame. So I thought we would reciprocate in kind and have you on to celebrate this astronomical win, right? It's just, we crushed it, and it was a blowout, and we had it the whole time, right? No, it was none of those things.
Look, man, I don't know if you're talking about us winning this game or Carol winning the Hertz House fantasy football pick-up pool. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. All I know is that there was never a doubt. For the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've known we were going to win the division. Did I think we would win it this ugly? No. Do I care? Not at all. I don't give a fuck. Excuse me. Can I cuss? I've been drinking.
Hey, I have been too.
You can cuss on you.
I've been celebratory. Let's take a shot, man. Look.
Let me go feed my dog so she stops barking, but you keep going.
Yeah. Look. I'm going to say this, okay? I'm taking a shot for Robbie, too, to give his dog. Amsterdam, baby. Let's get it. The Redskins have been cursed with horrible luck for the last 4 or 5 years. Unlucky injuries, unlucky coaches, unlucky bouncing of the ball. A ball that smacks off a receiver's hands into the hands of a defender who's running top speed toward the end zone the other way. I mean, just unlucky. So for a little bit of luck to fall the way of the team that has the best defense in the league, one of the best defenses in the league, a coach who fought cancer to be here and change the culture of the team, if they can't get lucky a little bit, then who can? I will admit that this game did not look like a team who should win a division, but you know what? It looks better than the guys who are 6 and 10 on Twitter right now, tweeting that they're upset because Philly didn't help them get in because they could only win 6 games all season. What? Get out of here.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. I just saw my man Eric commenting that I'm making excuses. Why is it when you state facts, folks want to say their excuses? Alex played well enough to win. Those 2 interceptions, the 2 interceptions weren't on him. You had a guy slip on one, and he threw the ball high, but what kind of fluke play that it bounces off McClellan and right into the cornerback hands?
He slipped, Logan Thomas, and I'm drunk, I promise you, go back and watch it. Logan Thomas got pass interference. He grabbed him by the horse collar and pulled him. When Logan Thomas broke free, he fell forward. That's the only reason he was on the ground. It was pass interference. But the referees had the flags in their pocket all night. Buddy put Tim Settle in the full fucking Nelson on that goal line play. Tim Settle's got his hands up like this, and the dude's holding him like this, and there was no flag. And the ball fell short, so luckily it was an incomplete pass, and they went for the 4. But they weren't going to throw a flag on that. The referees really wanted New York to win the division. I'm watching the Bud Light commercial with the New York Giants fan looking like a cardboard cutout walking around town. I'm like, why is this being shown during the Redskins? Oh, okay. They really want Daniel Jones to be out there and be the guy. He's trash. He's horrible. He's average at best.
Hey, there's a lot of average quarterbacks in this league,
There's only
man.
one team in the league, in the division, who has stability at quarterback, and that is not New York Giants. It is not the Dallas Cowboys. It is not the Washington Redskins. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. They got Jalen Hurts. They don't want to offer Dak the contract in Dallas. Bring him over here. They don't want to offer him a contract. Um, Alex Smith is not the future, and those are the only viable quarterbacks in the division. That's it.
I can't argue with those points, man. I can't argue with those points. But I
I
mean,
just can't believe
Alex.
that it's only the fourth time, like in my entire lifetime, that a team with a losing record is going to make it. And the last time that somebody won a wild card game from that position was Ron Rivera in the 2014 Panthers. I mean, that's just, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting game. I think Tampa Bay could crush us. I saw it on your feed. People were saying that we've already lost that game. You never know. I mean,
This team that played tonight lost that game. But let me tell you what, if the Redskins that showed up on Thanksgiving show up next week, Tom Brady is food. If the Redskins that showed up against the Steelers show up next week, Tom Brady is food. I think we can beat Tampa. I really do.
I mean, we all know with Brady, you get him off his spot, you get pressure. That rattles him. So if this,
Yeah.
I mean, this offense scored 10 points early, which caught me off guard. So that made me feel a little bit better going into the second half, even though the game was tight because knowing that they had started out, fast, scoring points on the first drive of the game for the first time in the season. But this team is a second half team, so if they can get off to a fast start and get some points early and not turn the ball over and let this defense play, they're going to be a dangerous out because if Alex can avoid those mishaps at interceptions, this game wouldn't even have been this close. It wouldn't even been a nail biter. So if they can control the time possession, run the ball, they got over 100 yards rushing. Alex only threw the ball 32 times. They had the ball for 30 minutes. Eagles had it for 29. They were 6 for 15 on third down conversions. They only had 5 penalties for 65 yards. That's the recipe for winning football. Yeah, well, we know some of those calls and then the calls they didn't make about against Philly, like you said. So the fact that they're able to overcome and get past those things and don't keep on doing them. We've seen some games where they had 10, 11, 12 penalties because they kept on repeating them. They kept on giving the referees a reason to throw a flag to try to call something. So it's just refreshing to see this team progress from where it started from to where it is now in one season under a new coach that didn't even have a real preseason, OTAs, or training camp. So imagine if they would have had that along with the additional week he would have for being a new coach coming into a new organization. Imagine where this team would be at on the football field. So it's just the sky's the limit. He has his team ready to play, and the future is bright for this team, I feel.
real quickly, on Hurt's house, I said that there was a couple of keys to victory in our very short segment. One of them was that we had to score early and often. We had to be up or tied or close in the fourth quarter. We thought that the Eagles would just turn around and fold because they didn't want this game that badly. And, you know, we did all those things. It wasn't pretty, but we checked all those boxes and we won. And really because of that, I think there was this lull where, you know, we were up 10-0 and then suddenly we were down 14-10 and we were a little bit worried. But that touchdown, Logan just, it was a huge, I said at the time, I said, if we can get some points here at all, it would be huge for a momentum swing. And it was. I mean, it's arguably the difference in the game. We just got a couple of points after that. But I was surprised at how little scoring happened in the second half. But I still can't believe they took away the one thing that was working, which is the mobile quarterback and us inability to contain him. And I feel like they were like, we really don't want the Giants to win. We're going to take that one element that was screwing you up and take it out of the game, which is like maybe the most bizarre thing I've ever seen from a division rival, but I'll take it.
Well, they got to examine their roster. They don't know what's going to happen next year at quarterback. You know, Nate Sudfeld's going to be on the team. They didn't have a preseason. Today's like a preseason game, you know?
I mean, like I said, I don't really see an issue with it because he wasn't effective. He was 7 for 20 for 75 yards. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, but they had to get down to the red zone, and when they pinned them deep and had to drive the ball, they couldn't do it. So just like with our quarterback situation, when they pulled Haskins and put in Kyle Allen, They were trying to see if someone that's been in the offense that maybe could spark the offense. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way they wanted to because he's a stationary quarterback and the team practiced for a mobile quarterback. So once he came in, they like, oh shit, oh we about to have a ball now, and they pinned their ears back because Philly was behind, didn't have a running game, and he's a stationary target. And like they said, he hadn't been active since what, week 1. So I mean,
So, Carol, do you think if we had gotten close to the end zone, like, do you think that they would have switched quarterbacks? Because that was, like, crushing us down low with these, not being able to contain, him in the pocket. I know they were able to a little bit in one touchdown when they went for on fourth down. I think he was still the quarterback at that point. Because Sudfeld wasn't right on the 4th and 4 on the goal line. That was still Hurts, right? I think it was.
I mean, this team has made great defensive stands on the goal line all season.
Yeah. So, but I guess they finally made the adjustment. But I wonder. I think the only thing that was stopping us was that mobility. So I understand what you're saying, Carol. If they're pinned deep, they don't have that. But it seems so odd that you would take away the one thing that was working. Even if it ultimately.
I mean, he got 2 6-yard runs. I mean, somebody didn't hold their gap in those plays, or he, got around the blocker he was faster than him. So I mean, he can use it to his advantage, but you have to get in that position, and then if the defense will make adjustments. We've seen how they buckle down and dig in when they're in that 5-yard between the goal line. So I mean, I'm not really even going to entertain that argument. They tried to go with something else because what they were doing wasn't working. Granted, he got the 2 touchdowns when they got to the red zone, which I believe both were off. I know one of them was off for the turnover. I'm not sure if both of them were. But, I mean, you can make the argument, but I'm still confident this defense would have held out and did what they had to do to win.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, fellas, I got to step off. But
it was good to see you.
Thanks for having me on. I'm going to try to no, I'm not going to try. I'll be there tomorrow, man. Carve some time out for me. You tell me when to be there, and I'll be there tomorrow. I need to sober up because I'm messed up, and spaceship is just taking off. I'm still entering the stratosphere. I plan on being in the outer space in the next 20 minutes. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Hail to the Redskins. Hey, for everybody out there saying that we're making excuses, yo, kiss the motherfucking rings because we're your NFC East champion. Fuck you mean?
Oh man, I hurt, man. You sober up tomorrow. We definitely gonna have you back on the air, and I'm gonna definitely talk to you about the Haskell situation. Because I would love to get the inside information that you can talk about now that you couldn't talk about before. Whatever you can, just to put it out there. Because I've said my piece. And I haven't heard your piece fully. I know you went on live, but I've been working so much I didn't get a chance to check it out. So we definitely have heard on tomorrow. Should be regular time, 9 o'clock, depending on if I get a late sale or something. Then we'll juggle the schedule like we did last week. But stay tuned. You never know. Things happen.
You think 9 or 8? Because we had been doing 8, but then we did 9 last week. Do you think 9?
No, we've been doing 9 because I get off at 8.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We'll do 9. All right. For tentative plan is 9 o'clock tomorrow, and then we'll do Wizards as a second. I'll just really briefly mention incredible game by the Wizards. We'll have a lot more to talk about in the roundtable, but after losing the first 2 games to the Bulls, which I thought was the easy part of last week's schedule, to come back and win the game on the road without Westbrook, and then to turn around and his first time on taking the court where he doesn't have a triple-double, he only does a double-double, and they win by 1 point. And you would never imagine that Westbrook wasn't the hero. It was our center was the hero, and Durant missed the game winner, which is a rare thing. So it was a crazy game. We'll break down more of that, but just a lot of crazy news. And we also got a new hockey player. So in our news and notes, we'll definitely break down how somehow we stole a rival team's captain, which I still can't believe that's happened. Chara. Can you ever imagine you would see Chara in a Washington Capitals uniform? I mean,
I cannot say that I would have saw that coming, Robbie.
Yeah, it's 20. I guess it's 2021's now. giving us some tricks. So we'll break that down, and then next week we'll have our hockey preview show. Tomorrow, as part of the show, we're going to break down all 6 of the different playoff games. So it's going to be next week. It's going to be the biggest wild card week ever, with having a triple header both Saturday and Sunday. We've never had that in the NFL before. So that's going to be exciting to break down some of those games, and the fact that both the Ravens and the Washington football team both made it to that day. When we started this day, we weren't sure if either would make it. So, it's exciting time in the DMV.
No, definitely with the Washington football team making the playoffs, winning the division, despite their 7-9 record, despite all the craziness and adversity that's going on this season, quarterback injuries, name change. It's just been a whirlwind of different things that could have been distractions for this team that fortunately wasn't. And all of those folks that questioned and doubted and had harsh words to say for Rivera early in the season, when we kept on saying that, give it time. It takes time to develop a team, especially change the culture, especially a losing culture. So, I mean, you can't be so knee-jerk, you need to fire him and he needs this and he needs to do that. Where are we at now? Division champions going in the wild card week and hosting the playoff game. Never know what happens when you get in the playoffs.
I didn't have us there. It's funny that Dugenais was the only one. I got to give him credit to get it right on our pick'em with 7 wins. But even he said last week he didn't think that would be enough to win the division. When he picked that they'd get 7 wins, he thought that we would be maybe a game or 2 out of the playoff picture. So I was close. I thought 6-10, but I've never been so happy to be so wrong. And Hurt alluded to it. I'm happy he gave you his props since it is his tournament. But congratulations for winning the pick'em. You got 12 this week. I got 11. I was right there. I did pretty well. Unfortunately, Arun did do 13, so I end up in 5th place. So it's you, sweet Peter Jeter, second. But he was a pretty far distant second. He was 11 points behind you. Sith at 167. He had 12 points back. And then, so just 1 point behind second. Arun was 165, so he was just 2 points behind third. And I was just 3 points behind him in 5th. And Hurt was 1 point back me, just outside of the top 5. And Dugenais was just below that, and People's Champ rounded out the top 10 in the 10th place. So that was sort of our final standings. And we might take a look at doing some sort of playoff one. We'll take a look at how that works, and maybe do one for our fans to join us and see what we can do, because that was a lot of fun. So congratulations, Carol. And it seems that you're 99.8% right. Did you ever give you a final number of where you are in the country?
I was trying to find it just now, but they already took it down and got everything set up for the postseason pick.
Of course they do.
Where when I looked earlier, before the Washington game was over, I believe I was ranked 475 in the world. And I don't know where it went to after the Washington football team victory.
Well, you got it right, though. You picked Washington.
Yeah, so it's, let's just say I wish I would have. Yeah, I just wish I would have put some money on it. On some of these, I just found out my landlord has pick'em for you put in I think he said $15, and if I'd have did that, man, I could have made some money off of some of these damn picks, because it's a straight pick'em, no points or nothing. So if they do a playoff one, I think I might got to throw a couple dollars out there, because I impressed myself this year. I wasn't expecting to do so well, especially with the way my fantasy football team ended.
Yeah, well, congratulations. So. But yeah, it's been a fun night. I know there's a couple people who wanted to get on to talk tonight. I don't know if we're going to be bringing in other guests. I know Hurt had specifically, I had made a deal if I got to go on his pregame, and if we won, I would bring him on tonight. But I appreciate people wanting to jump on and give their thoughts. Mark Moore says he can't believe Philly did not take the 3 to tie the game. There was a lot of weird plays by Philly.
Yeah, I was surprised at that also.
Yeah, but it's funny, they were saying the analytics say not to do the move there, which I find super strange. I mean, understand.
Now with more teams going for it on 4th down and taking a risk to, get the points to punch it in, it's become more everyday thing now. Say about 8 to 10 years ago, you wouldn't do that. But now you have these risky offensive coordinator risk takers or whatever that play, the analytics that, if you put the pressure on the other team by scoring 7 instead of 3, that changes the whole complexion of the game. True, but if you don't score, that doesn't bode well for your team also. So,
Right, I guess the thought is you're on the 5-yard line. Maybe you don't get out of that. Maybe you punt it. Maybe they score a touchdown on the next one. So it's not like you're giving them, any room to really work with. But if they can get out of there, which they did, they gave themselves just enough wiggle room, in that situation. And
that's
good. Fred
that's
is making
the
some
choice
bold
you have to make.
He's saying the Skins are going to go to the NFC division game. So that means that they would beat Tampa Bay. I'm not jumping out and saying we're beating Tampa Bay. I know that, you guys were just talking about it, and Hurts seemed to think, anything's possible. If we could beat the Steelers and then set them in a free fall, that they lose 3 out of their last 4 games, and if you could beat some of these other teams, there's been surprising games this year. So it's not out of the, it's not so crazy, but I don't know. It's hard to bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Well, it's hard to bet against Tom Brady and the hoodie in the playoffs.
But this year, I think has shown a lot that the hoodie, with not such great tools, is definitely not as good as Tom Brady with some of his weapons. He brought a lot of his weapons with him.
The hoodie, the combination that they had, and the rapport and the understanding of each other and knowing what each other wanted is one thing, but then going to a new quarterback that's not really a pocket guy, that's like a hybrid guy that hasn't really changed offenses in a while and is trying to be more of a pocket passer than a mobile quarterback, with the injuries they had and, the way that they play offensively opposed to defensively. And their division is a lot better than it was before. Buffalo looks very good. Miami, they missed the playoffs by getting beat by Buffalo today, but they were a 10-win team. And let's see, the Jets were. I ain't gonna talk about the Jets, but it's a tougher division, and he's a defensive coach. He's not really an offensive guy. So when you take out a Tom Brady, it's definitely going to affect you. Would I expect them to go 6-10? No, I was thinking more 8-8, but like I said, the division got better. They got swept by Buffalo. That hasn't happened in, I think they said, almost 20 years. So, he's still great. Brady's still great. Can Brady do it without him? I'm not too. I'm not too sold on it.
That Tampa Bay team, they're legit. It's not.
They're good. They're quality, and they can come back. But they haven't played a lot of teams with a defense like that Washington has. Their division don't really have any strong defenses in it. So I think that's going to be the X factor. If like I said, if Washington start fast and get some points early in the game and put some pressure on Tampa and allow the defense to, impose their will, like Hurt said, if they played against the Cowboys both times, yeah, I think it's going to have the same result as those Cowboys scores both times. Because when this team is playing inspired and playing with a lead, they're a whole different team. Scott Turner's a whole different play caller, and they execute better. We've seen it. Even their third down percentage this game, 6 for 15. It's not great, but we're used to seeing 28 and 31%. That was almost 50%. So I see the progress.
Tampa Bay going into the bye week had lost 3 out of 4, only beating Carolina. But then they had the bye week, and they were able to rattle off wins against Minnesota, which is a decent team, but not great. At Atlanta, who, again, up and down. At Detroit, and then Atlanta at home. So I see what you're saying. They didn't, beat any crazy defenses down the stretch. The game will be another night game, and it's going to be a little bit on a shorter week because it's Saturday night. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I thought we played decent for a night game, better than we had been, but still not great tonight. So, we'll have to play a lot better than we did today if we want to beat Tampa Bay, in my mind. I think if you put this kind of effort out there, I don't think we would have beaten them. But I agree with what Hurt was saying. We've seen other games where their defense just kind of lays it all on the line, and if the defense just balls out, anything is possible. But it's going to be an 8:15 game on NBC next week for people who wanted to know the times. of that. But it's going to be a really interesting week. The other games, the Colts versus the Bills will be the 1 o'clock game. The Rams at the Seahawks is the 4:40 game on Saturday. We're the night game, Tampa Bay at Washington, 8:15. And then at 1:15 on Sunday, the Ravens play at the Titans. So that rivalry has become pretty big in the playoffs. And then the 4:40 game is Bears at the Saints. And then the late game is going to be the Browns at the Steelers. So it's going to be a kind of a rematch of this week, but obviously with the full team. So those are the 6 matchups. I just want to get that in there. But it'll be some interesting football.
Hey, Mark asked the question, did Tampa Bay lose a wide receiver today? I wasn't sure. I didn't get a chance to watch that whole game. But, I mean...
I don't know. I didn't get to watch that game. It wasn't one of the 4 games that we had on here. So
yeah, I was watching the Red Zone. I was watching them a little bit, but I didn't see if they had any injuries. But it's going to be an interesting matchup.
The other games.
Yeah, but I know we about to get ready to get up out of here. I done work today, done 2 shows. Got a show tomorrow, got to work tomorrow, so we about to get ready to get up out of here. We'll definitely break down.
We'll have so much more to break down tomorrow. So
we're definitely going to break it down tomorrow.
Hopefully we'll have Divisional on, and maybe even have Champ on. We're going to have the round table. Hopefully have Hurt back on. And so it should be a full show. My guess is we'll do the first hour football, then we'll do the Wizards roundtable, and then maybe we'll talk about, if we don't get time in the first hour to break down the playoff matchups, maybe we do that at the end of the show, kind of like we did last week. If we have time to do it in the first hour with all the Washington football team talk, we'll get it in then. So that's at least the tentative plan. But everything, Facebook.com/SportsOTHP or search Sports on the Hill podcast, and you can always find all the latest news and notes, including my breakdown, my quick breakdown of the Wizards win, if you want to see some of the stats from today's game as well. But yeah, it's been cool. I'm happy that I was right with my prediction. Right, we went through all the games, and I said that the Miami was going to be the odd man out, and so that ended up being true today. So it'll be interesting to see how next week's go. But I appreciate the time. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I know it was a super late show, but incredible that we are the division champions. I'm going to have to create a bunch of new graphics to showcase, because we're the 2020 division champions. So it's we've always had 18 and then 19, and now we have a champion in 20. It's not a full NFL champion or anything like that, but it's still a division championship. And I was thinking about making an animation that shows all the different division titles and championships that we won, more than just the full titles like these, but all of them. And I might be releasing that in the next couple of weeks before we get to, the hockey coverage in the upcoming couple of weeks as well. So just a lot of fun stuff in January coming up here in 2021, and I'm excited to bring it to you with Carol. And Carol, why don't you bring it home?
All right, as always, appreciate y'all checking us out. Got a lot of folks tuning in. I shared it to a lot of different groups. I know Robbie did too. Tune in tomorrow night. We bring this every week. Best DC sports coverage around. We actually know what we're talking about. We actually, have knowledge and insight, not like some of these fools on the radio. So make sure you check us out every Monday night. Normally it's at 7, but with the COVID stuff, we push the show back to 9 o'clock since we're just pushing football and the basketball just starting. So stay tuned. Might have a time change coming soon with basketball picking up and hockey season around the corner. So as always, appreciate the love and support. Go check out my YouTube channel, Carol Porter III. That's with 3 eyes, not the number 3. Go check out the Instagram, Sports OTHP Apparel. Robbie mentioned the website, sportsothp.com. If you're looking for a new, used, or pre-owned certified car, truck, SUV, whatever, come holler at me down at Waldorf Honda, 2450 Crane Highway, Waldorf, Maryland, North Mount Side, across from the Popeyes and the Lowe's. Hit me up. You got the Sports OTHP shirts on the website. Hit me up for the Sports OTHP apparel with Eric Kusa. I got some new gear coming. Got to put in some orders for some sweatsuits. I'm going to see what the first one look like and then go from there, get some more printed up. Taking orders. Let me know what's good.
I got the championship merch on for the good luck under the old school Ryan Kerrigan. So I thought that, I didn't know how many more games we had with him, so I thought I would try a new combo for the last, potentially his last game. So I was happy that he played pretty decent. Nothing, no eye-popping stats, but, he played his role.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Also, shout out to Derrick Henry, 8th running back in NFL history to gain over 2,000 yards in the season. He needed like 246. He got like 265. That dude is a monster, so shout out to him. Tune in tomorrow for some more great content, more breakdown, more insight, more guests. Y'all be easy, be safe. I'm going to end it with Renegade Money Convo and how we do. Make sure you check it out. Go follow him on Instagram, Renegade703. Go follow his YouTube channel. He's got over 11,000 views on this video. Got over 60,000 streams on this song on all platforms. So make sure you go check him out. CP3, Robbie G, Sports on the Hill podcast, DC Sports Out of Politics. It's not just a catchphrase. It's not just a motto. It's what we do.
Money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you've been talking about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Cause money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you always been talking about. And I don't wanna be the one who always really talk about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Cause money's what I'm talking about. You never crossing these borders. I'm whipping it up, Gordon Ramsay. I swear that I'm cooking these orders. You talk about me, you better just hope that you can just really afford it. I'm balling, I'm winning, I'm feeling like Robert's a horrid. Nigga, I'm scoring, I count in the morning. They talk about me, then I gotta ignore it. My bitches be foreign, so independent, my money be corporate. These rappers is boring. You hate me and I'm always gonna adore it. I'm smoking that soaring. She always go ahead and let me explore it. I call her my Dora. You can go and talk about me, I ain't flawless. I go put my all in. If a nigga talk about me, then I'm gone in. You know that I'm gone in. Jump in, take trips, Pompeii. All day, always keep 3 stacks like Andre. I get it, man. And you can never, ever get rid of that. So watch what you say, and watch how you do. money's what I'm talking about. Won't really know what you been talking about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Cause money's what I'm talking about. Won't really know what you always been talking about. And I don't wanna be the one who always really talk about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Cause money's what I'm talking about.
Don't get this motherfucker right. Right.
If you ain't a boss, switch your position. They hating me on the low. I cannot listen. I pack your bag if you trippin'. I got me your superstition that you been looking for ways. Get me up off this mission. My grandma told me, boy, watch what you pitching. You stay safe at the base and not what you whipping. They just all in my business. Scotty knows just what a pippin'. Flow like I be rapping. Tiptoeing J's when I'm riffing. They say I be hot, but I think I'm sizzling. Surgically put on the clinic. Spit it out just to a dentist. Try to do me some good, but they say I'm a menace. We back and forth like it's tennis, and I can't mold out my image. But we can't really change what you already felt, and nobody can say we never did help, never did it to mention. So let's calm all the tension. Let's just show you what's real and just get back to this business, you know. Trying to make a flip up off a quarter P. This is what it is and what it's supposed to be. I've been right here if you ain't noticed me. It's them Southside squad niggas for the D. We been right here if you ain't noticed me. We been right here if you ain't noticed me. We been right here if you ain't noticed me. We been right here if you ain't noticed me. A rapper step up to me. That be a no-no. I be deaf cause they so-so. WWE. I got the game in a chokehold. Stamp it just like a logo. Just keep it on the low-low. They like I'm back on my mojo. Man, I still be great. Either riding or solo. Used to bag up them Cinco's just to make back that Ocho. Going into OT when I was loving that Coco. Spit it all on some promo. I'm talking tables and photos. Dying for what I love. I forgot about the Toto. Don't become a D-Rust. That mean you breaking the broco. Man, all of these threats, I might just buy me a fofo. Try and get all of these checks so I don't see you just no more. Man, you rapping ass niggas. I see you done change. Even when I touch my first million, I stay the same. You can't deliver the know. Fuck this game like a porno. They hearing this like, oh no, ain't from DC, but he go. Trying to make a